There's a kind of silence that only those who have tried everything truly know. It's the silence that comes after great effort, after countless attempts, after sleepless nights, carefully weighed decisions, and journeys where each step was taken with intention. But the destination always seemed to slip away, as if something remained forever out of reach. A kind of persistent emptiness, not born from a lack of action, but from a lack of response. You do what is said to be right. You commit, you study, you give your all. And still, success, recognition, fulfillment, they seem to dance in front of you, but never extend a hand. Perhaps in silence you've asked yourself, why do some people seem to walk lightly while I carry the weight of the world? Why do some prosper with grace, even without visible effort, while others, despite having everything planned, remain stuck? This invisible pain, this restlessness of the soul, is the call to look beyond formulas, beyond strategies. Because true success, as Gregg Braden teaches, is not a ladder to climb, it is a frequency to tune into. And this is exactly where most people lose their way. Real, lasting success, the kind that flows, does not come from a mind that calculates, compares, or competes. It emerges from the coherence between what we think, what we feel, and what we vibrate. It is not external, it is internal, it is energetic, and this truth, as simple as it is revolutionary, still escapes most minds trained only to survive in the material world. Joe Dispenza shows us that much of what we call mindset is actually an automatic reflection of the past. Unresolved traumas, inherited fears, beliefs that have become unconscious. The mind doesn't create, it just repeats, like a radio trying to tune into a station with a broken dial. It turns, it makes noise, but it never lands, because it lacks the most essential thing: coherence, frequency, alignment. Today, we're not going to talk about techniques. We're not going to list strategies. We're going to touch the invisible structure of the mind that truly manifests. The structure that pulses in the silence between one thought and another. The one that vibrates even before you act. Because it is there, in the invisible, that everything begins. Perhaps the greatest paradox of manifestation is this: to desire something intensely while vibrating the exact opposite. It's the heart asking for love, while the subconscious screams fear. It's the mind visualizing abundance, but the body holding memories of lack. And the field. The field does not respond to what we say we want. It responds to what we are, to what we feel, to the frequency we emit without realizing it. Gregg Braden shows us that the resonant field of creation doesn't understand words. It understands vibrational coherence. In other words, it doesn't matter how many affirmations you repeat if deep down you still feel undeserving. It doesn't matter how much you desire a new reality if your emotion is anchored in old pain. The field reads the heart, and the heart often carries wounds the mind hasn't dared to face. Think of someone who wants a loving relationship. She visualizes, she asks, she affirms. But in her body, the vibration of abandonment still echoes. Each time she tries to connect, a part of her shuts down. Because the frequency she emits is one of defense, of fear, of insecurity. The mind wants love, but the field reads withdrawal. The mind wants connection, but the heart vibrates protection. And so, reality molds itself to the vibration, not the desire. How many times have you heard that you just need to think positively? That it's enough to believe, to repeat power phrases and focus on what you want. But maybe you've already realized that doesn't always work. And the reason is simple, though often overlooked. Positivity that denies pain is not power, it's escape. And everything we run from controls us from within. Joe Dispenza warns us about the internal fragmentation this creates. When we think something we don't feel, the heart's field becomes disorganized. A dissonance arises, a static between intention and emotion, between what we want to believe and what is truly pulsing within. And that incoherence is read by the field as instability, as fear, as contradiction. Thinking big without feeling secure doesn't bring us closer to success. It only amplifies the distance between what we want and what we're prepared to live. The powerful mind is not the one that pretends everything is fine. It's the one brave enough to face the shadows, to welcome the wounds, to reframe fear. It is a mind built on emotional truth, not mental appearance. There's an ancient wisdom in the Tibetan monasteries. The monks don't ask for healing. They feel it. They don't pray for something to happen. They place themselves in the vibration of it already having happened. Gregg Braden calls this the technology of coherent emotion, a state in which the body, the mind, and the heart are in perfect synchronicity with the desired reality. This is true quantum mindset. You don't chase success like something outside of you. You become success. You vibrate the inner state as if it were already real. Because in the field, there is no linear time. The field responds to the now. And if your now is vibrating absence, absence is what it amplifies. But if your now vibrates fullness, even without evidence, that fullness begins to manifest. Most people don't fail from a lack of effort, but from too much of it. Effort born of fear, of anxiety, of trying to control the uncontrollable. But transformation begins when you stop running and start resonating, when you stop moving from desperation and start moving from faith. The powerful mind is born from a constant internal practice, a subtle attunement between what you think, what you feel, and what you do. And for that, 3 elements are fundamental. First, conscious thought, observing with honesty. Am I thinking from my desired future or reacting from an old trauma? Am I imagining possibilities or replaying memories? The mind that creates the new needs, new images. Images not inherited from fear. Next, coherent emotion. This requires practice. Cultivating, every day, elevated emotional states like gratitude, trust, and presence. Feeling gratitude before the miracle happens. Feeling security before the path opens. Feeling love before it knocks at your door. Because it is that feeling that reprograms the field. And finally, silent action. Acting as someone who already is. As someone who has already received. Not with fanfare, but with conviction. Not in haste, but with direction. An example is the technique of coherent breathing developed by the HeartMath Institute. When you breathe, with intention, bringing attention to your heart, visualizing your goal already accomplished, your electromagnetic field changes. Your vibration changes, and the field around you responds. There's an image that can transform your relationship with challenges. The eagle in full flight. She doesn't fear the headwind. She doesn't fight it. She embraces it. She uses it as lift. And it's precisely that resistance that takes her higher. The powerful mind works the same way. It doesn't deny reality. It reads the field. It understands what is being shown, and it responds with awareness. When you stop resisting what is, you begin to cooperate with what can be. Success in this new paradigm is not conquest. It is convergence. Convergence between who you are, what you feel, and what the field reads. The mind that truly manifests is the one that aligns, not the one that strives. It's the one that flows, not the one that forces. And this mind is only born when you decide to stop fighting life and start dancing with it. Bruce Lipton revealed something profoundly transformative. Our beliefs alter how our genes express themselves. This means we are not prisoners of inheritance. We are co-authors of reality. And what defines that inner script is not the amount of effort, it's the quality of the vibration. Most people want to change their life, but they don't change their self-image. They continue seeing themselves as small, limited, conditioned, and the field, obediently, repeats. Neville Goddard reminds us, the outer world is only a reflection of emotional imagination. What you can feel with truth becomes. What you intensely fear also becomes. The code of manifestation is not in what you do, but in what you embody, in what you carry silently, in what you emanate when no one is watching. The flower does not force spring. It simply remains open. It simply trusts, because it knows the season arrives. And maybe, like her, your greatest success is already approaching. Slowly, silently, but you're still vibrating as someone who doesn't feel worthy of receiving it. And what if the only thing missing is your alignment?